If I've listened to the full audiobook or a certain work, can I still say I've read the book? Yes, you can. I've done plenty of reading that way. When you listen to a story instead of reading it, it's still okay to say you've read the book. That's because listening helps you consume the content just like reading does. So whether you read a book with your eyes or with your ears, you still consume the book content, and that's what matters. You can say whatever you want. If other people take issue with it, that's on them. It's functionally the same. Yes. Or you can be a baller and tell people you had the book read to you. At any rate, you took in all of the words as written in the book, so you read the book if you listen to the audiobook. Technically you didn't read it, but there is nothing wrong with saying you listen to it commutes, dog walks, and blank times like waiting for a bus are great times to fill with an audiobook. He'll go against the grain and say it's not the same. You still get the full story of the book, and there's nothing wrong with listening to audiobooks. But it's not equivalent to reading a book. There is something to be said learned from seeing the words and sentence structure that one does not get without looking at it with their eyes. For the purposes of a book club, it doesn't really matter, though. Yes. Just say, yes, the audiobook was great. Maybe saying I love that book instead of saying you read it. Or at least commenting on the book without saying you read it. I vote you just say, I listened it. The talk could be interesting, like identifying differences between reading and listening. I am intrigued already. Yes. It's the same exact thing as when a parent reads a story to their kid. The kid didn't read the book themselves, but they still got and processed the story and information in the book, just as much as someone reading silently to themselves would have got. Honestly, yeah. Whether you read yourself or someone reads to you, you still retain the same info. I think it just comes down to how you learn, for lack of better word. If you can take it all in from listening, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to claim you've read it. I, however, cannot do this. If I'm not staring at the page, my mind drifts and I lose chunks of the story. And even the chunks I do actively hear, I do not 100% retain like I do when I'm looking at the words with my eyes. Some things about having to actually put all else aside and put my eyes to a page makes me able to immerse myself in the story. For this reason, I only listen to audiobooks I already know well. But that's just me. Others are obviously going to be different, and may even process the new information better than they would if they had to read it themselves. Yes. This topic has come up before. Being a prolific reader of both paper and audiobooks, I personally use read for both. No. So technically you haven't read it. But usually when people are discussing a book, they really don't care how you consumed the content, they just want to discuss it. And you won't hurt anyone by saying you read it. If someone told me they read a book and in the end they actually just listen to it, I literally wouldn't care. Like at all. So yeah, you can just say you read it. Nope. You listen to someone else read the book. You did not read it yourself. Therefore, you cannot say you read the book. I don't like audiobooks, but it's fine to say you've read an audiobook.